Okay, now I thought I would show you how I would go about starting to divide this clump here. The first thing I would do, like we talked about in the earlier video, I'm going to remove any tubers that have a broken neck and aren't going to make it. It'll just clean it up, make it easier to see what we're dealing with. The next thing I would do, you can see this is one that we dug in the fall. We've had it in storage over the winter. It's pretty much as it is other than being washed in the fall. So to make it easier to see what I'm working with, I would start just clipping off all the root hairs. You're not really going to do any damage, but it just makes it easier to see what you're doing and see what you're dealing with. When I'm working, I like to usually have different clippers handy. Some that are sharp and finer, always sharp, but some that are more of a needle nose type, and some that are able to go through a little bit of a thicker stem. So now we have that cleaned up a bit. We can see here, as we talked about, we're going to look for tubers that are strong-necked and have a good eye. So if I start over here, we can see we've got this guy here. Here's the crown. It's set off from the stem a bit. It's going to make it really easy to cut. And so, like I said, we don't need a piece necessarily of this whole stem, but we need a strong part of the crown. There we go. Now, just so you can see, this one here, we've got an eye up here, we've got a nice piece of the crown, we've got a nice round little plump tuber, we're good to go. This guy here, this one, we don't have much of a crown here, but if you look carefully, you can see a little eye right there. I think that should sprout and we'll be fine. Often you might have ones like this, you know, if you really want to, you could remove that one. This one is getting a bit on the small side. Often you want to look for, is the diameter thicker than a pencil? This is. It's starting to get a little bit shriveled down here, but not too bad. This might be a good option for starting in a pot. Now, typically, I will remove the mother tuber, which is this one right here. This one, it's a bit hard to see if there's an eye, but I'm going to just make a cut there. I often remove the mother tuber just to make it easier to see what's going on with the rest of the plant. And this can often be rotten. It looks fine, but I'm going to remove it anyway. I'm going to cut this one. Now this is where it would be handy if we had it sprouted a bit more. We would really be able to see the eyes better. This one here, I'm not sure if you can see, but there are some raised bumps there. Here's the crown, here's some eyes. We're gonna cut it like that. You can see this old stem here, it looks a bit moldy. Definitely looks a bit rotten. That's why typically we do more of our dividing in the spring. Often you can get rot coming through the stem, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. I'm going to take this one. And I'll just show you. We saw some of that rot. Here's where the stem was. I'm going to cut that off. And if we turn it over, we can see the flesh looks nice and clean there. There's nothing I'm worried about. We've got a strong tuber, a good neck, the crown, you can see an eye. I think we're good there. You know, this one, it looks like I may have lost that eye, so it's gonna go in the garbage pile. Something like this, there's a chance we might have a sprout there or somewhere over in here. I'm gonna leave that and see. I'm not 100% sure. But on all these other ones, we can see that we do have signs of eyes. Right there. Even on that small one. So there you go. That's how I would tackle that. We've got lots more to do. I would start doing the same thing. Trim off any of the broken pieces, trim off the ends, start cleaning it up just so you have a better view of what you're looking at and you can start making some decisions about where to go next.